विभाग प्रमुख होत्याच, पण त्याचबरोबर IKG पंजाब टेक्निकल युनिव्हर्सिटीच्या त्या डीनही होत्या. मॅडम गुरु नानक विद्यापीठात त्यांनी 2दा सिनेटर म्हणून महत्वपूर्ण जबाबदारी बजावलेली आहे. सिनेटर असणं म्हणजे शैक्षणिक क्षेत्रातली अत्यंत महत्वाची जबाबदारी मॅडमनी हाताळली आहे. डॉक्टर विनय मॅडम यांच्या शैक्षणिक कार्यात आणखीन एक महत्वाची बाब नोंदवणे गरजेची आहे ती ही की पोस्ट डॉक्टरेटसाठी त्यांना UGC फेलोशिप मिळाली होती. त्याचबरोबर त्यांनी पोलीस प्रशासन जाणून घेण्यासाठी आणि मला वाटतं एखाद्या स्त्रीने अभ्यासक म्हणून हे जाणून घेण्यासाठी फार महत्वाचं काम केलेलं आहे की त्यांनी त्या बाबतीत पदव्युत्तर सुद्धा पदवी घेतलेली आहे. शाकीय दृष्टिकोन ठेवून त्यांचा अभ्यासाचा दृष्टिकोन मॅडमचा दिसतो. त्याचबरोबर मॅडमचं उच्च शिक्षण परिषद कायदा मसुदा समितीत त्या सक्रिय होत्या आणि मेहरा मॅडम पंजाब सरकारच्या बाल आणि महिला सक्षमीकरण या महत्वपूर्ण आणि अत्यंत संवेदनशील विभागात 2011 ते 14 या कार्यात सदस्य होत्या. मॅडम यांचे 2 पुस्तकही प्रकाशित आहे. मला वाटतं की समाजाच्या नवीन बदलाच्या कुठल्याही नवीन धोरणाच्या याच्यामध्ये प्रक्रियेमध्ये एखादी स्त्री अभ्यासक असणं म्हणजेच लाखो स्त्रियांचं प्रतिनिधित्व असणं असं मला वाटतं. त्यामुळे आजच्या सत्रामध्ये अत्यंत अभ्यासक आणि म्हणजे नुसत्या कायद्याच्याच अभ्यासक नाही तर सर्वांगीण नवीन शैक्षणिक धोरणातही सक्रिय असणाऱ्या मॅडम आज सकाळच्या सत्राला आपल्या लाभलेल्या आहे. मॅडम मी आपलं मनापासून स्वागत करते. धन्यवाद. ओव्हर टू मॅडम.
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। सर्वप्रथम तो मैं आप सब शिक्षकों को भी नमन करना चाहती हूँ, क्योंकि भारतीय संस्कृति में जो शिक्षक का स्थान है वो भगवान से भी ऊंचा है। गुरुर ब्रह्मा गुरुर विष्णु गुरुदेवो महेश्वरा, गुरु साक्षात पार ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः। So all the teachers who are attending this refresher course, my salute to them. So this refresher course has been mandatory by the UGC. So that's why you have made the students at this juncture. I think that you all are aware of many things. It is just to do the self-introspection when we have such discourse, that where we are and where we have to go. So firstly, I'll take up the role of teacher in 21st century. Now the role of the teacher has always been same. I think whatever be the century or whatever be the time or scenario, a teacher is always a guide, a mentor, a facilitator, a friend, and a counselor. So it hardly makes whether we are in a 20th century or we are in a 21st century. No doubt, due to the technology, some innovative pedagogy has to be adopted. Moreover, there is a fiduciary relationship between the teacher and the taught. So it's a relation of trust and mutual, you can say, atmiyata. So law also recognizes this relationship of teacher and the taught. So I was listening to the attendance in the first part of this session, and everybody was called by the roll numbers. In my whole life, I have never taken the attendance by numbers. I have always taken the attendance by name of the students. This is how you can connect with your student. Though it seems to be very, very small effort, but it has long-lasting effects that even the student have gone, they remember that this was the teacher who remember us by name, and a close connectivity is established, and you can also have a control over your class when you know the names of the. So it have been my effort from the very first day when a new session came. I remember their names, 5, 10, because initially whole class is not present on the first day. So who are present? 10, 15. I remember their name. And next time. So I think that this number game has to be changed. Anyway, so we know that teachers are the architect of the nation. The chairperson of Kothari Commission, Dr. D.S. Kothari has once said, future of India is being made in the classrooms, and this task is being performed by teachers. So see, what is the role of a teacher? We are the architect of the country. Now, if any change has to be brought in the society, always has been brought by the teachers, or you can call them philosopher of that time. We can remember Chanakya, who transformed the society of that time. He developed, he nurtured Chandragupta Maurya in such a way that he could establish a strong nation. We can also remember Smart Guru Ramdas, who developed Shivaji in such a way that he could establish the Hindu Rashtra, where cow, women, and all the marginalized sections were protected in a very well mannered. Rousseau is responsible for the Russian Revolution. He was a great philosopher. So whatever change, because we know that every year 100 or 200 students are at our disposal. It's not the students alone who are at our disposal. Their families. So whatever message we convey to our student, it goes to their family. So those 100 or 200 families, we can make a tremendous change in their mindset. I remember many of our teachers from the very beginning had impact on our mind, on our personality in one way or the other. So few teachers we remember because they have given a long-lasting impact. There was a time when our whole this system of Guru Shishya Parampara was changed by the one stroke by Lord Macaulay. Now the system where this relationship of teacher and taught was a well placed, and the teacher or the guru who considered himself as a student throughout his life. Said that today what we do is we say we have done PhD, so we know much than these people, but many a time our students teach us. They teach us by questioning. We also probe to those questions, and then we expand our horizon of our subject. Now we know why they change our pattern of education, because they know that this system of education of Gurukul is just not just to give the contents or just to train the mind of the students, but it developed a holistic approach. what today's NEP 2020 is also talking. That we know that that system which was imposed by force and the gurukuls were closed down, only those class of people who had studied in those missionary schools or those convent schools, they were given the jobs. And they trained their mind in such a manner that they helped them in the administration. And they were just like reboots. So that's why those Indian who were taught in those schools were putting atrocity to their own natives because they were not sensitized about the needs of the society. So that colonial system which has given us today's India, which is without ethics. We have seen old age homes where the parents of well educated persons are residing. They are not from the villages, but from the metropolitan cities, from the big cities. The parents of IAS, PCS, doctors, engineers. So we are producing good engineers, good doctors, but we are not producing good human beings. So a present education policy want us as a teacher to train the mind of our students that they are sensitized towards the need of the society, to the family, to the nation as a whole. We have seen that the present education system has given stress and anxiety because there is a game of numbers again. Whosoever gets the maximum marks will get the admission in the next course. Daily we read newspapers and we find that IITians and then societies in best law national universities, then in other engineering college, medical colleges, the stress. Why education is giving stress to the students? Rather, it should elevate them. It should give them such strength that they could face the realities of the life. So here the role of the teacher come as a counselor, as a facilitator, that how he has to study a subject, how he has to understand the subject so that he can face the challenges of the life in a better way. So we know that our ancient system of education not only developed the cognitive faculties of the person, but also facilitated in the holistic development. Their physical, mental, and spiritual growth were all taken care by the teacher or gurus of that time. So today also we have to assimilate this par vidya and apar vidya, the Lokik and alokik education, which were combined earlier together, and the teacher was both a spiritual teacher as well as non-spiritual, or a common teacher who could teach the subject as well as the realities of the life. So we know that we are not only this physical uh, uh, being. We have some soul, and which is common in all the people. When we say Aham Brahmasmi, say that I have a spirit, that Chaitanya, that consciousness, which is common in all. Nowhere in any curriculum, anywhere it is being taught. Now, as we know that 21st century is called the century of technology. Every information is readily available. So in this scenario, when every information is already with the students, then what is our role? This most of the students now, they are not turning in the class just because they know that we know everything. It's all in books. In such a scenario, what has to be our role? We have e-books, we have e-library, we have e-research, e-magazines, what not. Even digital lectures, digital notes are available. Then we have MOOCs and we have SWAYAM portals of the UGC. So every information is available with the students. And we know during our experience during the COVID-19, every one of us has then learned how to use the technology. Because earlier we only used to take the classes physically, and but during that period we had to learn. So those teachers who are not acquainted with the online classes, they had to face problems because the students were creating disturbance during the classes. Those who don't want to study, they disturbed other also. Sometimes I know in my own university, one of the teachers used to complain that the students, they start music, they start advertisements, and to the extreme that some porn photographs also. So then we started this training of the teachers for how to take online classes and which um, system will be better, Zoom, Google, or Microsoft, whatever, what available, so that the teacher has an edge over the students, because our students are much ahead of us. So, so we have to be ahead of them. So it is our training every day. We have to face the exams daily. Whenever we come to the class, we have our examination and we are our self evaluators. So when we come out, we can tell that I am satisfied from today's lecture or not. We know that today this is not the class of blackboards and chalk. There was a time when the government started Operation Blackboard and providing thousands and thousands of blackboards in the rural areas in where the teachers does not have even the blackboards. But now the time has changed. We don't require these blackboard. We need this smart classrooms are there. So where we can easily handle the hybrid classes, the students who are physically present, students who are sitting at their home, they can attend our classes. And COVID has taught us there's a transformation in our system of delivery of the education. We also conducted online exams also, but we find that that system will not last for long. When it's very essential, only then we should recourse to the online system. I wish I could attend this refresher board physically, because then another level of interaction takes place. But anyhow, sitting too far, so this mode has become more convenient. So we are adopting this system. So since the nature of classroom has changed, So role of teacher has also been changed. So we are not just to provide the facts and information to the student or the content, because that is already, they have all contents in their mobiles. So while sitting in the classroom, they are using the mobiles. We cannot stop them. And they ask the question just simply looking at their mobiles, and the teacher had to be prepared for all these fronts. Now, there are the various roles which we can adopt while teaching. So it depends on our capability, on capacity. So we, first of all, we have to do our SWOT analysis, that what type of teacher I can be and how I can deliver the things to my student. One type can be that I am a controller, I'm the focus in the classroom, I'm the center. So I give the instructions and I impart whatever information I have, I just give to the student. But I think this type of system is a very authoritative. Teacher consider that I know everything. So there is always a monologue. There's no dialogue. So one-way traffic. The teacher, so normally it is happening till date. The time has come that we have to change this pattern. The second role which a teacher can play as a prompter. Prompter, encouraging the student to participate and make suggestions, to engage in various activities. I remember during my final year of BA, one of our teachers, whenever a notice comes to participate in activity, when nobody raised the answer, she really scolded us and persuaded us to participate. And I know that it was her persuasion that I could speak in publicly after completing my BA, or even during BA also, I started participating in debate, declamation and all that. And it's helped me in my law stream, because there you must, and finally in teaching, you must have the communication skill, which is very essential. So as a prompter, persuasion is there. But whenever student require our assistance, we should be ready to give the assistance. We can't say, no, no, do yourself. This is your work. This is your task. You have to do. But on demand. We should not poke our nose in every matter of the student while we have given an activity or we have given a project to him. We should leave him. We should give the space to the student. Third role can be as a resource person. So we are ready to every time. So I used to say the teacher is a teacher for 24 hours. So we are available at a call, we are available in our staff room, we are available. So because there are various levels of the students. Some are very sharp, some are slow, some are mediocres. So when we deliver the things in the class, we don't know how many of have got 100% or 50% or 40%. So we should be available whenever. So we should not scold it. I have seen many of my colleagues who scolded the teacher if the student asked the question in the class. They always ask them to come and meet me after the class. That is not a very healthy tradition. Because if we don't inspire the student to ask the question, his faculty to ask, he can't be inquisitive. And it is the real job of a teacher to make a student jigyasu, to learn more, to know more. So this is how we can persuade him to know more and more. So उसके अंदर जो जिज्ञासा है उसको जगाने का काम जब टीचर करता है तो ये भी एक उसका एक रोल बन जाता है. Then as an assessor, we should not assess the student in his final exam or in his midterm. That assessment should be on the daily basis, how he behave with his or her colleagues, with batchmates, with the other teachers, or how what is his behavior in the class and what is his behavior outside the class, and how we can check him. We know there are the various modes of checking or punishing. Now, the corporal punishment is not allowed, I know, but there are the various modes because some of the students who just, when we see them angrily, they will stop the nonsense in the class. Sometimes we have to call them, sometimes we have to send them out of the class. That should be the very rarest situation because human mind always remember the bad things and forget the good things easily. So teacher has to be very, very choosy while scolding the student or punishing the student. So as an assessor, we have to see how they are performing, how they are doing in their projects, whether they have done all through the GPT or this AI version which they are producing. Because if from the beginning they are doing, so their research can also be impacted by those matters also. And these days, sorry to say that most of the research is online research, sitting in the one room and exploring the things without going to the practical field. How we say that our universities and foreign universities are different? Because there they have more focus on the practical aspect. But still in India, we have more focus on the theoretical. So it is one of our tasks under NEP that we should overall our curriculum. Some part should be only the theory part, and some part can be the project work, some part that you are given the assignment and other activity, or there can be the group discussions. So this is, it depends on us how to deliver our syllabus to the students and how effectively we can give that syllabus to the students. Now, as an organizer, teacher has to perform this role also while conducting the various activities in the institution as well as inside the class when we are holding the group discussions or other things. Then our roles as an organizer becomes very essential. We can't leave all the things to the student and manage yourself and I'm just a spectator. We can't be the spectator because each and every action require our supervision. And sometimes we can also be the participant. If there is a participatory role, then the teacher and the student relation becomes very, very, you can say, cordial. And there's one closeness, and then they learn the things, you can say, easily, and in an environment which is very, very participative environment. So don't think that we are separate from them. We are the part of that class. So we have to be the part in a manner that we can deliver the things in a better way. Then as a tutor, We can be a coach, especially when the student involved in the project works or they are involved in the self-study. So teacher become the advisor and guide. So it gives the personal touch to the students. So we remember those days when there was a slow learner in the class. Our teachers give a special time without charging any extra fee. So these days, you know that we have developed in every institution this mentor mentee institution. But many of us don't know what is the role of a mentor. We think that it is an extra class where we just solve their problems in the subject or in the uh, field, whether we are teaching that subject or some other teacher. No, we have to be mentoring in all aspects because many students can't take initiative. So we have to boost them, take the initiative to participate in the various activities, cultural activities, then academic activities. So a mentor, because that is a very small group of 20 or 25. So in that group, we can encourage the student to improve his communication skill. So this is a big role which we can play as a mentor. Even a student have a stress, so as a mentor, we can help to release that stress and anxiety. I remember one of my student of LLB first year came to me in the year 2013-14, and it was 150th birth anniversary of Swami Vivekananda. He said, "Ma'am, I don't want to study. I don't want to do any work." I asked him, "So, are you helping your parents in the household activities?" He said, "I do help my father in plowing the fields, but still I don't feel like doing anything." So I could understand that it is the first stage of anxiety. So for a good teacher, it is very essential that he should also know some of the psychology too. Without understanding the psychology of the student, you can't be a good teacher. Now I gave him some of the literature of Swami Vivekananda. So after 1 week, he came to me and he was more confident. And then I gave him another book of Swamiji. So the thing is that I should not think that this is not my task, go to the doctor. So if it was a first stage, the people still are very reluctant to go as psychologist or to the this counselor. So as a teacher, as a mentor, we have to relieve the student from his stress or the anxiety in a way that without hurting him, that without using such words that you don't feel bad about that I am suffering from some disease or something that. So, so you know that teaching is not an easy job, though it is considered to be the most easiest job. There was a time where the teachers was placed very high place, and the teacher or the guru, if comes, and even the king used to stand up. So, but today, and you know, in many countries, I have studied that they are not asked, they are not called in the court for any hearing, or in some of the states, if they are called, they are offered a chair, and the judge give all the regard to the teacher because teacher is a reservoir of the knowledge. But that reservoir, how it has to be used constructively. Some is saying that प्रलय और सृजन टीचर की गोद में पलते हैं. So means a good teacher can make the future of a student and the future of a nation, and a bad teacher can mar the future of the nation. Chandragupta was lucky that he got Chanakya as his guru. But Ambi was not so lucky. So that's why he could not be the good king. So it all depends. So institutions are not an infrastructure or the buildings. A good institution always is with by its good teachers, good staff. So if you have chosen this profession by your own choice and not under compulsion, you should give your 100% best. Because every student has something unique in itself. So we have to be like the Dronacharya. We have to find out who can be a wrestler, which student can become like Arjun, who can be like Bhim, or who can be like Yudhishthira, who can preach the dharma to the others by his own character. Now, NEP also talks that till date you must have read NEP 2020 or you have attended many seminars on NEP and you could have understood that it is student centric, but duty to implement NEP lies on the shoulder of the teachers. They have to change the curriculum, they have to change the methodology of teaching, they have to change the environment in the classroom so that no student should be feel shy or feel afraid while coming to the class. We have to nurture the research aptitude in the student. You know that now NEP talks that right from the 6th or 7th class, this research aptitude has to be. Because if you snub the creativity of the student from the very beginning, you cannot develop that instinct in the student at the later stage. We say that our PhDs are nothings but just a compiled information. It does not give any concrete solutions. The reason is that we have not developed that faculty of the mind of the student right from the beginning, that he should come with the innovative ideas or he come with some new suggestions. So he just take the things from various already done research and just combined it. And most of the time, don't read once they get the PhD. So we have to groom the skill, which is very essential. It used to be said there are 64 kalaएं or 64 skills one should have, and Bhagwan Krishna had all those 64 skills. We don't now know what are those 64 skills. But whatever skills today we know is that we must have a communication skill, we should have vocational skill, we should have soft skill, at least the skills which are essentials in our future life. It's the duty of the teacher, it's a role of a facilitator that he should develop all those skills in his student. And he talks about educational leadership. So we have to prepare Bauddhic Yodas. So in a way, teachers are the soul of education. If soul is not alive, then that education can't be alive. It is dead. So we have to avoid repetition, cramming, that rote learning, and we should focus on the conceptual clarity. If that clarity is there, whatever may be the mode of communication or the language which is easily understood by the students, we should talk in that. I remember the words of Abdul Kalam Azad, who says that I could not understand maths and science easily because my teacher used to teach in Tamil. So language play a very, very, you can say, crucial role in understanding the things. So we should not feel shy while teaching that if my student can't understand English, I should tell him in Hindi or in Marathi or whatever language is easily understood. The main purpose is to communicate. So language is just a means of communication. Should not now people say that if you don't speak English, so others will show that you are not educated. So this is not a touchstone to judge our capability or the capacity to be a good teacher. Our capacity is how we can communicate and we can what we want to tell the and that reaches to the our pupil or the student or the taught. Now we have to understand that a good teacher is who has student centric attitude, not the self centric attitude. Because we are here for the students. And if we don't care for the students, the institution cannot progress and then it ultimately impact our livelihood also. So we think in these terms also that our whole focus is our student. Whatever be their number, each student is precious to us. Now, continuous learning should be our motto. It's not that since I have done my PhD in that subject, so I will teach only that subject. And for that subject, I have prepared notes, and every time I give the same notes to the students. Whatever changes are going on around us, we are least bothered. It's not a sign of a good teacher. We have to be aware about our day-to-day surroundings, whatever is new going on, we should include it in our syllabus. We have to upgrade the syllabus. And it's not necessary that we should incorporate in that written syllabus because NEP also gives this free hand to the student, to the teacher that he can teach at least 20 to 30% whatever he can teach related to that subject. So he has this much freedom. But provided whether we are prepared for that or not, I can give you an example that right from my PhD, I have always focused on the traditional knowledge in the law. So one chapter used to be on the So whatever researcher came to me, he has to write one chapter. So from where he has to find, I always guide him that these are the sources. This is the place from where you can get it. And but you have to do that. But and today we have seen that if we are incorporate one chapter in that traditional knowledge. Recently, a workshop was conducted in Barkatullah University to incorporate whatever traditional knowledge we can incorporate in the various subjects. It was a huge exercise, and in the coming days, other universities will also follow it. What I want to tell is that I added one chapter in the contract law, the traditional method of it, handling the contracts in India. So before Contract Act was passed, there used to be a system how the people negotiate or how they enter in an agreement. The whole semester was gone. The teacher did not regret that. That one topic. So ultimately, I gave him my own article so that he could see the sources in that article and could find out and make his lecture. But he didn't even did that. He just Xerox that article and distributed the students. How I come to know? The student came to us that, ma'am, your article was very useful. So we could go through it and we just write the paper. So I said, if this type of teacher we want, who are not ready to do some innovative work, so we have to also think that teaching is our dharma. Whatever may be our religion, our dharma is to ignite the light. So asto ma sadgame, tamso ma jyotirgame, dityoma. We used to recite this. Ki hame, so teacher is a person who take us to illumination, away from darkness. So that's why he calls the guru. The term guru is used for the teacher. It is derived from Gri Dhatu, which means swallow. So what teachers swallow? He swallowed darkness, illusion, illusionment, ignorance from the mind of the student and illuminate it with the light. And as a Shikshak is a person who motivates us for learning. So the journey of a teacher is like a meditator, tapasvi, tapomulam hi sadhana, we write. Without doing tap, we can't reach our destination. If that is the motto of a teacher, he can be a real role model from the students. The student follow him without asking. So what is education? It's a journey that we become a good human being, and from good human being to the person who is spiritually enlightened. Human being is called Dvij. Dvij means twice born. How we are twice born? Animals are once born. They are not twice born. One is our natural birth, and second birth is given by our guru or the teacher when he enlighten us with the knowledge. Knowledge about the subject, knowledge about the self, knowledge about the society, nation, and universe. Now, there are 4 pillars of learning which we must keep in mind. First is learning to know, janana. Without knowing, we can't do anything. So, second comes learning to do. So, when we have learned, the second thing is we should put it into action. That is learning to live together. What is happening today's world? All the countries are fighting because we have not taught that teaching to them how to live together. The principle of coexistence. It's not a coexistence with the human being, but coexistence with the other animate and inanimate beings. So learning is also that how we live with others, how we honor the relationships. So this is how a teacher can be a guide or mentor for the students. First we have to learn all these things. That's why such type of these training camps are being organized, that we must learn something new and we should incorporate in our teaching pattern or in our daily routine, in our exercise, and then we can make our student better citizens. Learning to be. What be? To be a doctor, to be an engineer, to be a professor, or to be a scientist? No. Learning to be a good human being. That is the real essence of the education. We must know it and we must try to implement in our day-to-day exercise also, so that we can produce a noble citizen, a compassionate human being who is well aware of his social and environmental responsibilities. And all these traits can be groomed by incorporating certain things in the curriculum. So something practical to be incorporated. You know that in the Juvenile Justice Act also we have incorporated, and even in new laws, we incorporated community service. Instead of sending the child to the observation home or the person to the jail, he is assigned with the community service. So it really helps in transformation of the person. So we have to create such environment as a facilitator that the learning becomes joyful event. Now the concept of development, no doubt, we have to develop our technology, and we also focus on the growth at 5 levels of human existence. But the ultimate aim of education is to learn, to realize, and to manifest the inner potential. Swami Vivekananda also has said that education is nothing but the manifestation of your inner qualities. How, as a facilitator, we have to bring the best out of my students. This is my real rule. I have to teach the technology, but how that technology has to be used, the optimum use of that technology. I was reading that with the help of AI, one girl has learned how to commit suicide. It means nobody at home was watching him. Nobody was studying her behavior. So technology is not our master, but our slave. So this one-to-one interaction, we have seen that we have online classes, but after some time, the student become impatient to come to the universities, to the college, because that is not the solution. So technology, however advanced they may, can't replace the human factor. So in this 21st century, though that the technology is at its peak, we have mobiles, smartphones with us, smart classrooms, whatever it is, but the human element will always be required for the process of teaching and learning. But one thing is there that we have to discard our traditional methods of delivering lecture. We come to the class, we have prepared notes and we deliver it whether we have properly communicated or not. So this teaching has to be integrated with the real life situations. We have to give the practical examples so that the things become easy to understand. With my own example, I can tell you, I used to teach 18 subjects out of 13. Every semester I was given a new subject, had to work a lot, but my effort was always that I make the things easy with the day-to-day examples, day-to-day exercise and practical you can experience. My student till date remember that they remember the examples, though they may not remember the content. That the thing is, we have to correlate the whole syllabi or curriculum with the practical, how it is really going to help us in the real life situations. From our own experience, we can take the help of the other resource persons also. We do not feel shy that I can tell you that in my university, in the first semester, I called the teacher. They were all fresher. Give me the list of the topics which you can't think that you can deliver in a better way. So some gave 2, some 3. And I engaged the experts, teachers from other university, other institution for those lectures. So we can pool our resources in the institutions. Now the institutions, they're not working in harmonious manner. They think they are the competitors. So that's why the resources are not being optimum used. They're not used up to the optimum. You know that in some of the college, there may not be a students in one particular language class, but the teacher is there. We can pool our resources with other institution. And there is no restriction on it. It is quite possible that some of the private institution or university may have better labs. We can collaborate. Because the purpose is to give the best and extract best out of our students. So we have to choose a right method of teaching. I already told, by making our own analysis that which method is better. If I am very shy, so I can't be a facilitator, but I can be just a guide or a tutor. So you think that education is a man-making process. So we also learn everyday new things. And we should not feel shy that, so at this age of 30 or 40, we are still learning. We learn till the last moment of our life. Every day we are learning. We have so many things to learn from outside our institution. Without even recalling, we learn everything, even from a passerby or even from a shopkeeper. So as a facilitator, we should keep in mind that we have to support the learner. So if he's not good at listening, or he is not good at communicating, we must help him. Instead of making fun of that student, we should facilitate so we can make him a better person. Today, even we are in the 21st century, there is a need of harmonious blending of our traditional values, so as well as our modern knowledge. So with the blending of both, we should develop the skills in our students so that they can face the challenges of the life, even at the national level or at the international level. We should also can take help from the SWAYAM portal, that many people have put their lectures there, and in our free time we should listen to those lectures and we can enhance our own knowledge. So if we are best, only then we can make our student best. How these SWAYAM and MOOCs lectures can be recorded is not very difficult. In every institute, we have IQAC cell and other, even UGC sends their coordinators to help the teacher to record their lectures so that they could be displayed. Now, it is the time that we should find the answer to the various questions as a teacher. And those questions are how to intelligent quotient be aligned with the emotional and spiritual quotient. How can it be further aligned with the skills? How we can persuade a student to compete, to participate, to engage himself in various activities, practical training, practical tasks. So along with the knowledge, we have to tell that this is not, means degree is just not for getting the bread earning. There has been a long struggle for that we should de-link the degrees from the education. It is still going on. And even we know that with this API score, the level of research has gone very down. And also, at the cost of classes, we are publishing the papers. Because we require the permanent job, we require the promotion. So at many stages, I have called that this API score has to be, the parameters has to be changed. We all, instead of only publications and participation in these seminars or conferences, more marks should also be added, that how much good teacher we are, how much we good human being we are, how much time we also give for the community service, social service. Earlier, when you participate in NCC and NSS, the weightage was given for the higher study also, and for also the appointments. But that has gone. I don't know why that has gone. But our small efforts bring a long lasting impact on the minds of the students. So we have to labor hard. As a teacher, it's not an easy job. So teaching is very, you can say, time demanding and our energy demanding profession. So we have to be ahead of our students, and for that, we have to spend more time in preparing our lecture in a better way, making them more interesting, more practical. So unless and until we teach the student that though he is getting this degree to become a teacher, engineer, or whatever, doctor or something else, he has to be a part of this society. And he should learn to behave properly in the society. So कभी कभी कोई बच्चा गलती करता है तो हम कहते हैं यही पढ़ाया तेरे को, यही सिखाया तेरे को. No doubt, the student also learns from the family itself. He learns from parents, from the neighbors, from the environment outside his. But still, the impact which a teacher makes on his mind is long lasting. We see at our home that a small children, when he is being taught by the mother that 2 and 2 is 4, but 3 plus 1 is also 4, he or she says, no, 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 no. My teacher has told only 2 and 2 are 4. So only 2 and 2 are 4. So I'm not going to listen to you. So this is the impact of a teacher. We know that some places the number of students is quite high. And we cannot give the individual attention to each and every one. But we can develop such activities whereby involving them, we can judge them and we can uh, nurture them, we can improve their habits and their personality, overall personality. And this is the real motto of NEP 2020, that we have to make such person from our education system who have roots, who are attached to the motherhood, who have values, moral values, and constitutional values. And we know that values can't be injected outside. There's no injection by which we can infuse those values in the seeing is the learning. The students, they observe their teacher, their parents, and they learn those values from them. Our rishis, our sages, they spend their lives in developing such values, and their students follow them. We, we have not to discriminate in the class. Now, the thing is that we have become so selfish that at the cost of merit, we always encourage that this my student should be absorbed first. Though he's not a capable of becoming a teacher, but since he's our student. So from here I start the deterioration starts in the society. So the great task is on the shoulders of the teachers, not simply giving the facts and contents to the tutor, but to nurture them and to facilitate them, become their guide, their mentor for their coming life, so that this society, this universe become a place of peace and prosperity. There was a time when our universities were open for the foreign students. They come here to learn, just not the contents, but also the way of life, spirituality, how to live with coexistence, how to behave as a good human being. And I think once again, we can inculcate all those qualities in ourselves, and then our students will also imbibe all those qualities in. So when we go out of the class and we just put off all the fans, a student observe, and next time they start doing it. If I just pick up some peels from the floor and put it in the dustbin, next time my student also, but that day the teacher was doing, I must also do that. So for the overall development of the personalities, we have to be on our toes. So each student is important, is a part of this country, part of this universe. So his overall development is essential for the overall development of this world or universe. So for this first this session, it's over about this subject. If anyone has a question, they can come with the questions. Then after a break, we will start with our second topic on sustainable development goals. Hello.
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 Hello, ma'am.
Hanji. If there are any questions from the participants
Ma'am.
for this topic.
Participant, if you want to ask the question, please ask the question, madam.
मी प्रश्न विचारते. मैडम, आपने बहुत ही एक अहम मुद्दा, मतलब इस सभी चर्चा में मुझे बहुत ज्यादा वो मुद्दा अहम लगा कि एपीआई के लिए जो अभी पेपर्स और मतलब पेपर छपवा लाना, वो जो सब चल रहा है प्रैक्टिस, वो मुझे लगता है कि इन दिनों में, क्योंकि उस तरह से इतने मैगजीन्स और इतनी, मतलब हर शिक्षक इस बात से सहमत है, और आपने उस पर मतलब बहुत ही अहम मुद्दा है कि ये सिस्टम चेंज होनी चाहिए। क्योंकि श, हम जब रिसर्च करते हैं तो उस रिसर्च की भूमिका क्या है, क्योंकि अभी भी साहित्य हो या दूसरे इसमें, अभी भी हम स्टूडेंट को भी जो ये देते हैं, टाइटल देते हैं, रिसर्च के टाइटल, वो भी वो सही तरह से वो फैन के नीचे बैठ के ठीक से काम करे, इसी तरह से देते हैं। तो एक पूरी सिस्टम ही बहुत अलग तरह से चल रही है, और कहीं तो भी एपीआई का जो मतलब बोझ है, उसके वजह से इतने मैगजीन्स निकले और वो बोझ सही तरह से वो उठा रहे हैं। तो इसके लिए मैं आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद करूंगी कि आपने बहुत ही अहम मुद्दे पर वो बात छेड़ी है। धन्यवाद।
I told you in the beginning that it's a self introspection also, and also introspection of our present educational system. So, where we stand and where we want to go, without knowing our weaknesses, we can't improve them.
Yes, ma'am.
Anyone else? So then let's have 20 minutes break and then we'll start with the next topic that is a bit lengthy. It will take more time. So we'll have a break of 20 minutes. It's okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
पाटील मॅडम, म्हणजे 12:30ला जॉईन करायचंय का? कृपया आपण जरा सूचना केली तर बरोबर.
हो मॅडम. आता 20 मिनिटं म्हणजे बघा की 12 वाजून 5 मिनिटं झालेत. तर 12 वाजून 25 मिनिटांनी आपण सगळ्यांनी परत म्हणजे आता ग्रुप ह्याच्यामध्येच राहणार आहे, मीटिंग मध्ये आपण. कुणी मीटिंग लेफ्ट करू नका.
ओके, धन्यवाद.
हा हा.
Then yes, should we start?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. So welcome again, all of you. Now we will be taking up our next topic, Sustainable Development Goals. So know that seeing our present scenario, whether it's a global warming or climate change or poverty in most of the countries, various efforts at the international level have been done from time to time. There's what Rio Convention, or before that, other conventions. But this time, all the member states of the United Nations have made a commitment to themselves and commitment to the universe that they will make this planet a better place to live in. So in 2015, they have made a roadmap, and this roadmap is for another 15 years. So by 2030, we have to achieve those targets which we have before us. Now, before we come to the role of the higher education for implementing these sustainable development goals, we have to see one by one what are those goals, and then how the higher education can help in implementing and achieving that goals. The first is no poverty. We have 17 SDGs. So first one is no poverty. I was looking at one of the advertisement that there is one country in South Africa where the people don't have food to eat, and they're just dependent on the yellow soil. They eat that soil. The long time, this many South African countries, they were malnutrition, there were child mortality because there was a lack of food. The food is the basic necessity for every human being. In our own country, for long we had a slogan, no poverty. But the concrete efforts were not done to elevate the people from the poverty line. If last few years, we have seen that there is tremendous change and many people have been uplifted from that poverty line. Now, the number of middle class has increased. The number of higher class may not be reduced, but the very poor has now jumped to the class of middle class. So for this, there can be social protections, some schemes. So in our own country, free rationing has been provided to the people who can't afford. So there may be misuse of these policies at one places, but there are a system. So insurance schemes have been given. So the purpose is that person should be elevated from the poverty line. And many developed countries are helping out the underdeveloped to come out of that poverty. Second is zero hunger. Both are correlated. So we are lucky that we are living in India where there is a langar pratha. I hardly think any person sleep hungry. So there are many temples, many gurudwaras where there's a free langar is being provided to the people. And there are various festivals, occasions, we organize food and other things whenever these big yatras are being done, there are stalls by the public to help those tourists. Maybe it's Amarnath or it's other places in Maharashtra. So whether it's Savari or other occasions, the tourists are provided with the food. The thing is that how we can remove the hunger. The basic needs has to be fulfilled. For this, again, the countries thought that they have to join hands and they have to do the hand holdings of those countries, but they are starved. They don't have enough food. But there was a time when we used to import wheat from USA, but now we are in a position to export it to the other countries. But at the same time, India is helping out to the countries in Asia as well as in Africa. Those are suffering from hunger. Because collectively only we can do with these all social inequalities and whatever it is. Now that comes to the third goal. It is about the good health and well-being. So good health and well-being. More and more hospitals has to be there, clinics in the villages, dispensaries are required. But the thing is that most of our doctors don't want to work after they get their degree in the remote areas. So those people don't get the adequate these medical facilities. I think there has been change in the policy. While giving the job to it, there is a commitment from them which is taken that they will serve in the remote area for at least 2 to 3 years. They have to give the bond also. So I think this is a better position. And but there are also people who, after getting their degree from the foreign countries, start serving their own village people, establish their small dispensary and start helping out the people. So this depends how he has been taught in his institution while he was studying. Then medical insurance has been provided. And recently we have lot of such schemes for the poor people, as Ayushman and others. And then it's also you can say a thing to be followed by other countries, that even a labor who was working on the roadside, if he is died by accident, he is given the insurance. Earlier, there was no such provision. If the person died during the in factory or he is working in the construction work or something. So these are all policies which help in the well-being of the common people. So every countries look to the others and follow some take leads and some follow them. Another is quality education. Quality education. So the big question is before us, don't we are getting quality education in our country? But when we see the ranking, world ranking, that we find that very few institutions, they stand on those parameters of the quality education. So the boost is being given by the government to the higher institutions that they should promote research, they should promote the innovations so that we can also compete with the other institutions of the foreign countries. Now, so far as education, right to education is concerned, it has been incorporated in the Constitution. And a duty has been imposed on the parents as well as the guardian, that the child who is under their custody should not be deprived from the education. At the same time, various scholarships are being provided by the government. So whether one has to take admission in IIT or in other prestigious institutions, there are financial benefits which are given to the students. There are many philanthropists also who come forward and sponsor the child for his studies. So I think, and the concept of corporate social responsibility, many big companies, they are under compulsion by laws that they have to spend some part of their income on the well-being of the common people, and some of them they donate to the higher institutions or the educational institutions. So besides these good colleges, whether are for law or for engineering or from the medical, there are continuous learning center also for the adult people. So those who could not get the education at their young age, there are also provided the adult education because there's no age of learning. You can, and we have seen that many people doing PhD at the age of 60 or 70s. So those who could not get the opportunity at the right time, they should not be deprived of that. That is. So quality education also say that there should be proper infrastructure. There are good teachers who are well qualified and well trained and well committed, dedicated. Only then we say that as a quality education. Fifth goal is gender equality. United Nations in its charter has demarcated that there should be equality, no discrimination on the basis of caste, sex, creed, and we have incorporated all those principles in our constitution too. We have various rights, right to equality, right to liberty, right to life. So these are according to the parameters of the United Nations Declaration. Then United Nations has also came up with the human rights declarations. So I have already told you that from time to time, efforts have been done by the international community to do away with these shortcomings which hamper our growth. CEDA, that is Convention on Elimination of All Type of Discrimination. And this is due to that convention that we have made a provision in the Constitution under Article 15.3. Article 15.3 gives the power to the government to make the special provisions for the underdeveloped, including the women. So all efforts are being done from time to time to do away with the inequality. Many plans, policies from time to time are being made for the women empowerment in India. Amendment is done for the social empowerment, for the political empowerment, for the economic empowerment. So these have been helpful. So now we see that more and more women coming out of their homes and they are competing in all sectors. And we have seen their courage during the Operation Sindoor also, the women fighters. Next is clean water and sanitation. Clean water, तो जल ही जीवन है, right? So without water, we can't survive. So we need fresh waters, but we have depleted many of our sources of fresh waters. It's a sad part on the human growth, or you can say technological growth, or in the name of the advancement. The result we are seeing. Around 2.2 billion people lack access to safely managed drinking water. And we have seen for a long time the women carrying pots on their heads and bringing waters from the nearby wells, pools, and ponds. But there has been change, and now every home, even in the villages, have the tap water. But that tap water is safe for drinking or not. And it is the duty of the government to provide safe and clean water to its citizens. So everybody can't afford these ROs. It's a very expensive affair. And it is not guaranteed that the water we are drinking through the RO is good for our health. Because from time to time, researches are being conducted. And some researchers has found out that due to the RO water we are facing, there's a deficiency in our bones and we are facing the arthritis and other problems. So the thing is that there should be a common processing of the water by which the water is clean and it is then sent to the. We have seen that sometimes there's a leakages from the, because when there's underground pipes and the water pipes and the sewerage pipes, they are so closely undergoing that the sewerage water is mixed with the drinking water and the people are forced to consume that water. We have seen that many RTIs being put by the people to make this all improvements, but many times the government doesn't listen. So rainwater is a very good source of the clean water, but we are not being able to procure it. If we go to the old forts, we find that the provision have been made in those forts for rainwater harvesting. Because at that time there were no so many canals or rivers, so they were dependent on the rainwater and they were enlightened. I think they were more enlightened than us, that they could conserve the rainwaters. Now, in some of the states, they have made it mandatory that in every, at least educational institutions, there should be rainwater harvesting, the water conservation. So during, and there is a, it has been put in the parameters of the NAC and NRIRF. So whenever we go to those institutions, to the educational or higher institutions for the inspection, we see that they have made the arrangement for the rainwater. Sometimes it's not functional. Just on the namesake, they have made a water reservoir, but it's not functional. So there should be a proper implementation if we are doing. So there should not be difference in karni and katni, ki kahe kuch or kare kuch. Otherwise, the positive result cannot be come out. There was summit in 2019. And a framework in July 2020 for this water conservation. And it is being said that the Third World War will be for the water, because the clean and fresh water is going to be depleted, because most of the water, safe water, is being wasted. We see around our houses, the people have their own this submersibles and their tanks, they are overflowing. Nobody's bothered. They can't understand that once a drop of fresh water is gone to the drain, it takes a full cycle to come. It will go to the drain and then to the sea, and then there will be clouds, and then again there will be rain. So it takes so much time. So why not to save water? If water is life, then it's a duty of everyone. And these practices has to be taught in the educational institution. And so far as higher educations are concerned, they used to organize seminars, conferences, and then there can be a discussions, there can be competitions, and the student can be sensitized how to preserve the water and why to preserve. In Gurbani, we learn Pavan Guru Pani Pita Mata Dharat Mahat. तो इन चीजों का ये जो 5 elements हैं, which are essential for every human being, they have been protected by our. They never waste water. Our grandmother used to scold us if we waste some. After drinking half glass of water, we throw the half. They said only take that much which is required. So these habits has to be inculcated right from the childhood. So when a child comes at the higher institutions, it's already matured. So then it becomes very difficult for the teachers at the higher education level to mold the mind of the student. But we cannot give it up. Because even if they are now converted into a pot, they are not raw mitti or clay, we can polish them. And once they are polished, they can be assets to the society. So here comes the role of the higher education in conserving the safe water. Then the next goal is for energy. Energy. So in 2010, 84% people had access to the energy. And by 2023, almost 92% people have access to energy. But the thing is that we require renewable energy. So the efforts are also being done at the level of the government and the policymakers, how we can preserve the energy so that the coming generation should not be deprived from this source of energies. UNO has started celebrating from 2024, 26 January as a World Clean Energy Day. Why clean energy? So we are also focuses that this type of lamps, these type of tubes should not be used because they are all again help contribute for the global warming, and then they should be discarded, and such type of bulbs tubes should be used which are safe and they are known as a source of clean energy. And the government gives subsidies also for all these efforts. Next goal is growth, employment, and decent work. The right to life does not mean just living a life of animals. It's a life with dignity. So for life and dignity, we require decent livelihood. So everyone has a right for the decent livelihood, and no one should be deprived on the basis of any ground, whether caste, whether creed, whether religion, whether sex. So such policies have to be framed that there is proper growth. And we cannot dream of the growth of a nation by keeping 50% of its population at the edge. So almost in every country, 50% population comprises of women folk. So we have to take them, we have to consider their contribution at all levels, their participation in the policy making, in decision making is also required. Because we have seen that the women manage the resources in a better way. So we can give the examples of those companies where the CEOs are the women. And before appointing that lady as a CEO, the company was running in losses. But after that, it is boosting because the God has made women in given the such nature that they think in a holistic way. They deal with their workers in a very humanitarian way and extract best out of them. So, though many women are contributing in organized as well as unorganized sectors in most of the countries, but still their number is low and it has to be increased. So for growth, focus is on the green economy, also on the sustainable tourism. Because tourism is the fast growing industry, it gives employment to the many people. So tourism should be sustainable. Sustainable, right? So we have seen that when we go to the hill station, we put so much garbage there that we change the whole scene of that hill or that station. I can give the example of this one of the island in Andaman Nicobar. They allow the tourism. They don't allow anyone to take any type of packaged food, not even the water bottles. They give the flasks. You have to give the security. And after returning from that, you can return that flask and recover your security. In many states, they have banned the plastic. Plastic bags are not allowed. It's punishable. Thing is that we are not mentally prepared. We are not such trained. We will always disobey the law. We find the loopholes, how we can disobey that law and for our own convenience. These bags, we know that are great hazards. They are also hazardous for the animals, for the sea life. But still we keep on. Small efforts are being done by the higher educations to train the students. They recycle those plastic waste. And many people have come up with this innovations that these plastics can be used in the road making, and the roads are more stronger. So these innovative ideas come only with the research at the higher education level. So I got another goal is 9. Number 9, industry, innovation, infrastructure. Sometime in the name of making of roads, we cut the trees. It leads to the global warming. So innovations are required at level. You know, we have developed cars run by this gas, and then with the electricity, we have scooters also. So these innovations can be done only at the higher institution, the level of the higher educations, and not in the level of school or colleges. So here, these institutions join hands with the government, and these researchers help out with the new innovation ideas. So a lot of money is spent on the maintenance of the roads. If roads are not proper, then there is a wastage of, you can say, oil and other infrastructure also. Our mobility is restricted. It leads to the losses to the economy. But we have seen that sometimes roads are made by the PW department, and then the telephone or telecommunication people come, they dug the road to install their wires. Again, road is made. Why there is not the collaboration among these institutions? Why there is so much wastage of the resources? There should be a proper planning. Planned cities are to be developed. There's a focus on smart cities also. But unless and until there's a coordination with the different departments of the government, we cannot come up with the concrete solutions. So it will keep on going that one person makes the roads, other will again dig, and then first one come and again make, and then it will continue. So many people have start living in the villages because of the pollution in the cities. In their old age, they have started. In the foreign countries, it has been a common practice that after the retirement, they shift to the town, to the this village areas. They make their farmhouse and they live a very simple life. Then goal number 10 is to reduce inequality within and among countries. So any type of inequality. Many of these goals are interconnected. Whether inequality is on the basis of poverty, hunger, or the other resources, there should be hand holding by the developed countries of the underdeveloped. So we have to begin with our own areas where we are living. So it is said, think globally, act locally. So we have to begin from our own locality. Whatever change, small change is brought, it gives lesson to the others. They follow us. And then it become a complete chain. Next goal is also interconnected, make cities and human settlements inclusive, safe, resilient, and sustainable. So for this, what is required? We have seen on the hills that there has been mushroom construction. Lot of construction is being done, and the result is what we are looking today in Uttarakhand, in Himachal, in Jammu Kashmir. This is unplanned construction, which has resulted in the loss of lives of human beings and animals. So the planning has to be done. How much construction? Earlier, the houses used to be of the wood, they were lighter, but now, since it is very expensive, so concrete houses are being built. But deforestation, so much smuggling of the wood is being done, and it results in these floods and devastation of the cities and the hill stations. We also require sustainable transport. Now everyone is in a habit of using his own vehicle. No one wants to use the public conveyance. We see many buses going vacant, there's nobody boarded. They need their own comfort. Earlier generation, they were very thoughtful about things to save the diesel and petrol. Because at that time, nobody had the idea that we could have a renewable energy, or we can drive our vehicles with the help of gases or with the solar energies. So they were very conscious. But with the advancement, we are so unthoughtful about the others. Our each action affects others. So we are interlinked. But we don't think about this. Even today, 1.12 billion people live in slums. So they don't have the better place to live. So housing problem is still being faced by many people in many countries. Next is very important point related with the consumption. Sustainable consumption. Sustainable development requires sustainable consumption, but it's not only consumption of food. We started buffet system to save our food resources. But now we see that most and most food is being wasted when there is a buffet. I don't think why the people put all the things in their plate, because they know that they will not be able to finish it. And there's a lot of, once it is wasted, it cannot be consumed by anybody. We have seen the people who pack up their food when they go to the hotels and some food is left, they pack it and carry to the home. But some feel it very shameful to ask the waiter to pack those food. We have paid for it. It's not a charity. Why we should feel ashamed for that? So every single particle of food. So our grandparents used to tell us, "An devta hai, don't waste it. Jitna thali mein dala hai, utna." Now the people have started this clean thali campaign. And in some of the countries, we read that they put fine on the person for wasting the food. It's a good tradition to change the habit of the peoples. And also in this recent Kumbh at Allahabad, we say that they have started a campaign that everyone should have its own cloth bag and thali, so that there is a less and less plastic garbage at those sites. So ultimately, that has to be thrown in the rivers. And their water will be polluted and it will be hazard to those lives underwater. Now, sustainable development is not only consumption of rational consumption of food. It also implies rational consumption of energy, rational consumption of water, rational consumption of other sources. We see in most of these seminars, water bottles are provided to the people, to the participants. They drink some part of it and then throw it. So it happens not in one seminar. It happens in most of the seminars. We had a tradition, we started our tradition in our own university at Sonipat, that all these programs, no plastic bottles will be served or brought to the campus. Even for the guests, we provided glass and glass bottles. And we also started the tradition of again using this banana leaves, which is still a tradition in our southern part of the country. because that is degradable, biodegradable, and there's less pollution on the earth. So I think that we have to go back to our good traditions to make this planet good place for living. Then comes climate change. This is the SDG 13. Climate change and its impact on the. We know the whole universe is one. We are so interconnected that the action of one country impact the action of others. Now, if the war between Russia and Ukraine is going for so long, is it not going to impact the whole universe? It's not raising the global warming. Nobody is thinking about it. When India stopped war after 4 days, so everybody was questioning why we stopped. We had a good opportunity to get back our areas. We can teach the proper lesson to the Pakistan without thinking that in those war, how many lives were gone. It may be number for us, for the family, it's the bread earner. Again, so many drones, so many, these our warfares, they were being used. It cost crores. And the whole economy have to pay for it. We should be thoughtful before we give any opinion. And also think about our own contribution for the society and the nation. So we know that 2024 year, the last year was the hottest year of so many centuries. This is put on record. So all our actions contribute for the global army. Today we have AC cars, AC buses, AC classroom, AC office, which overall contribute for those emission of gases which result in the global warming. I think we have to once again think about the simple living and high thinking. We have to minimize our needs because nature have enough for the human need, but not for its needs. Today, what is happening? Everyone is in a race for getting more and more resources, more money, more infrastructure. So this greed has to be checked. Next is SDG 14, the underwater. 14 says life below water. So it includes lakes, rivers, oceans. So recently, one of the university organized a seminar and happened to be the part of that. So first time I heard the term blue economy. So we take resources from the oceans also. Now how much is to be taken? That there is a sustainable life under the water. Unnecessary activities have to be stopped. So it impacts the life of those creatures which are living below sea. The next is life on land. To this land is not only for human beings, but also for the other living and non-living organisms. We have to take care of their biodiversity. Otherwise, the whole chain is being disturbed, and the result we are seeing in the form of tsunamis, in the form of floods, in all these landslides and whatnot. 16 is peace, justice, and strong institution. Who can be the best preacher for peace than India? Buddha gave the message of peace to the whole of the world, and many countries still following his path. India has also offered mediation for the Russia and Ukraine, because we know that ultimate peace is required. Peace at the individual level, at the level of the family, at the level of society, at the level of nation, and at the level of universe. Peace is the ultimate aim of the life, human being. In other term, we call it a moksha. Moksha doesn't mean that we are to go to the heaven. This is that state of contentment where we are happy with our resources. We don't crave for more at the expense of others. That is sustainable growth. Justice, and we need strong institutions. At one time, League of Nations failed. It was not as strong. Even UNO is not strongly been able to safeguard the rights of the small nations, because the big nations are bullying. They have more say in those institutions. You see that yesterday's our meeting of our foreign minister with the Chinas is giving a shock to the America, which considered that they are the super in every aspect. They are imposing this import duties, 25%, 50%. They think they are sufficient, they are self-sufficient. They don't require the help of other nations. It is foolishness. This whole universe gives us the message that we are interdependent. We are not in the family, we are dependent on other members. Even in the society and in the universe, we are depending on each other's. And we should respect each other's. The last and most important goal is the partnership for implementing all these above mentioned goals. So if you don't do the efforts to get all these 16 goals, then whole effort of the member state is futile. This is a futile exercise. Now, though it's an international effort, but every nation has to chalk out its strategies. And the government is collaborating with the higher institutions to come out with the concrete solutions. How these higher education, now the question comes, how these higher education help in achieving this Sustainable Development Goals. First is by incorporating those goals in the curriculum. We have to train the minds of the students. We have to teach them that the whole universe is one. Vyashti says Mashti tak. From the individual up to the whole universe, we are one. And we are so interlinked, we are integrated, that our small action affects others. So we have to be very cautious by taking one step further. So there's an organic relationship not only among the human beings, but also among the entire animate and inanimate world. Our cultures tell us that we all have same consciousness. There's no difference in that energy, which we call soul or Atma, whatever name we want to give it. It's the same in all living creatures. And we have to respect that energy and soul. So we have to come to that state of mind, live and let live. कि जियो दूसरों की नहीं, living at the cost of others. Now, we can say that higher education has to play key role in achieving all these sustainable development goals. And how is this possible? First is by educating the people. So we can arrange awareness campaign, seminars, conferences, not only for the students, but also for the general public, making them aware that how responsible choices can create better future. That this higher institution can exchange knowledge. They are the knowledge hubs, but they can exchange their knowledge, and then with their collaboration, you see that many higher institutions sign MOUs within the country and outside countries, not only for the development of the educational level, but also for the other things, for the research, for the infrastructure, for the better faculties. So they collaborate and it gives good results to the society. Sharing of research. Though we can have the patents for our innovative ideas, but nobody stop us for sharing those ideas for the betterment of the humanity. I can recall that our sages have done lot of tapasya to find out various innovative ideas of that time, but they did not patented it. That's why even today, everyone is taking benefit out of that knowledge reservoir for Vedas. So by collaborating with each other, by sharing our resources, we can come with the innovations which are helpful for the whole humanity. So in India too, this higher education holds significant role in social and economic development. Our ancient institutions like Takshila, Nalanda, Vikrashila had been playing the same role for the betterment of humankind. the people from abroad came just to learn that living style, that mindset, where we help others to be the good human being. And this can be again adopted by us, as well as we can show the path to the other countries. So in this higher education institution, mindset is being changed with the practical work, with the projects, with the activities. And values, human values are being inculcated in the students. Also, the skills are being developed, that how they can come with the best out of waste. And there is recycling of the resources and the less wastage of the resources. So higher education develop the critical thinking of the students. They analyze the things, they come up with the better solutions. So the sense of social responsibility is being taught in the higher education institution, which is very essential for the social change. We have seen that the whole India has indulged in the Swachh Bharat campaign. Swachh Bharat campaign has so much impact on the small children that if anybody in the house throw any garbage, they immediately picked and scold the parents. Why you are polluting the things? So these small efforts can give the big results. Higher education also play the complementary role in the state affairs in helping in policy making, policy implementation. Which can be helpful for the growth of the nation, and it is sustainable growth. They give the suggestions through the research that how we can minimize the wastage and minimize the global warming and give the innovative ideas. Then collective sense of collective responsibility can be taught in these institutions, which later on help the students in their real life to come up with this collaborations. So these higher education institutions are not just the center of educations. They're centers for learning, the center for change. They change the mindset of the students who come to them. So it's a great responsibility of the higher education institution to come forward and help the government in implementing these sustainable development goals. The government is also collaborating with the other countries in all matters. And India is always give the helping hand. We have seen during the COVID-19, we have given free vaccine to those nations who could not afford it. So because the coexistence and collaborative efforts can give good results, and the peace prevail in the whole universe. So Any question, please?
If anyone have any question, please ask.
I know I am standing between the lunch. I think I have made this small effort to sensitize our teachers. So ultimately, they are to sensitize their students,
Yes, ma'am.
future of the nation.
Yes, ma'am. If you don't have any question, then we will go for the vote of thanks. Roll number 43.
डॉक्टर विनय कपूर मेहरा मॅडम यांनी रोल्स ऑफ टीचर्स या मूलभूत मुद्द्यापासून सुरुवात करीत त्यांनी चाणक्य, द्रोणाचार्य या शिक्षकांनी घडवलेल्या विद्यार्थ्यांचे उदाहरण देत शिक्षक आणि विद्यार्थ्यांमध्ये सौहार्दपूर्ण नाते कसे असावे हे सांगत चांगला शिक्षक विद्यार्थ्याच्या माध्यमातून उद्याचा सुंदर भारत कसा घडवू शकतो हे अत्यंत महत्वाचं विधान केलेलं आहे. त्याचबरोबर तंत्रज्ञान कितीही विकसित झाले तरी मानवी नात्यांचा ओलावा हा शिक्षक आणि विद्यार्थ्यांमध्ये असला पाहिजे ही भूमिकाही त्यांनी नमूद केली. ज्या विषयाचे ज्ञान नसेल तर इतरांची मदत घेतली जावी. इतर म्हणजे मला वाटतं की त्यांनी संशोधनात्मक अंगाने फार महत्वाचा मुद्दा मांडला की आणि त्यांनी भाषेच्या संदर्भात म्हटलं की जी भाषा तुम्हाला येत नसेल तर स्थानिक भाषा आणि आपल्या भौगोलिकतेच्या संदर्भातली फार महत्वाची आग्रही भूमिका मांडली जी आजच्या काळामध्ये फार गरजेची आहे. कारण की नवीन एज्युकेशन पॉलिसीमध्ये म्हणजे मराठी विषय जर शिकवणार असेल त्याला इंग्रजी येणं अपेक्षितच आहे का. पण जी भौगोलिक भाषा ज्यावेळेस त्रिसूत्रित धोरण आपण महाराष्ट्रात स्वीकारत असू तर सगळ्या भाषेंचा आणि भाषा बखणींचा आदर करणं गरजेचं आहे. या माध्यमातून मॅडमनी एक महत्वाची भूमिका मांडली या विषयात. त्याचबरोबर त्यांनी अलीकडे शिक्षक संशोधनाचे पेपर कशा वेगवेगळ्या पद्धतीने छापून आणतायत पण त्याचा एपीआयचा हे पॅरामीटर्स कुठेतरी बदलले पाहिजे आणि मला वाटतं की या सगळ्या लेक्चर मधला हा फार महत्वाचा मुद्दा माझ्या दृष्टीने महत्वाचा आहे. दुसऱ्या सत्रामध्ये त्यांनी सस्टेनेबल डेव्हलपमेंट मध्ये 16 गोल्स सांगितले आणि ते मला वाटतं प्रत्येक भारतीय नागरिक म्हणून त्याच्यासाठी अत्यंत महत्वाचे सांगितलं की 0 हंगर, क्वालिटी एज्युकेशन पाहिजे किंवा ग्लोबल वॉर्मिंग विषयी त्यांनी म्हटले असेल जेंडर इक्वॅलिटी. आपण भारताच्या संस्कृती प्रिय देशात राहतो आणि जिथे स्त्री पुरुष समानतेच्या संदर्भातले अजूनही किती मुद्दे म्हणजे ऐराणीवर आहे आणि स्त्रियांचे प्रश्न यावर स्त्रीमुक्ती चळवळी किंवा इतर सगळ्याच चळवळी लढत आहेत. या सगळ्या मुद्द्यांच्या बाबतीत की ह्या 16 मुद्द्यांमध्ये त्यांनी या मुद्द्यावर फार महत्वाची भूमिका मांडली. नंतर शहरं वाढतायत म्हणजे गांधीजी म्हणाले होते की गावाकडे चला पण त्या शहर
Excuse me, there are 17 goals, not 16.
सॉरी
Yes.
आणि त्यावेळेस त्यांनी म्हणजे इथल्या मूलभूत ज्या काही समस्या असतील त्यामध्ये स्वच्छ शहर, मोठे स्मार्ट सिटीज होत आहेत पण त्या आपल्या म्हणजे मूलभूत गरजांपासून कुठे दूर जात आहेत की स्वच्छ रस्ता, पाणी किंवा एनर्जीचा अतिरेक वापर असेल किंवा आपल्याकडे त्यांनी अगदी अलीकडच्या म्हणजे रशिया आणि युक्रेनच्या युद्धापर्यंत आणि त्याचबरोबर भारतामध्ये म्हणजे त्यांनी सांगितलं की 4 दिवसातच युद्ध का संपलं. पण मला वाटतं की कुठलीही स्त्री जगभरातील या पृथ्वी तलावरची कुठलीही स्त्री युद्धाच्या विरोधातच असते कारण की पहिली कुऱ्हाड तिच्या उदरावर बसत असते. त्यामुळं अत्यंत म्हणजे एक अभ्यासू स्त्री वेगवेगळ्या ठिकाणी काम करून ज्यावेळेस ती भूमिका मांडते तर मला वाटतं जागतिक वैश्विकता जर माणसामध्ये यायची असेल तर ती शैक्षणिक धोरणातून आणि याची संपूर्ण जबाबदारी ही शिक्षकाच्या खांद्यावर असते. अत्यंत महत्वाच्या अशा मुद्द्यांना हात घालत सामाजिक बदलासाठी उच्च शिक्षणातले बदल हे फार महत्वाचे आहेत आणि यासाठी शिक्षकांनी कटिबद्ध राहिलं पाहिजे. पण पुन्हा हाही प्रश्न आहे की नवीन शैक्षणिक धोरणानुसार आपण भारतात आणि महाराष्ट्रातल्या दुर्गम भागातील आणि तळागाळातील विद्यार्थ्यांपर्यंत हे सगळं कसं पोहोचणार आहोत याचे मला वाटते येत्या काळात हे मोठे आव्हान शिक्षकांपुढेही असणार आहेत. मॅडम, आपण अत्यंत महत्वाच्या मुद्द्यांना हात घालत नवीन शैक्षणिक धोरणापासून तर शिक्षण आणि मानवता आणि वैश्विक मानवता एकोप्याने कोलॅबरेट करून संशोधनापर्यंत कसं आपण एकत्रित येऊ शकतो या संदर्भात आपण फार महत्वपूर्ण म्हणजे एका अर्थाने डोळस पद्धतीने आणि खूप व्यापक पद्धतीने आम्हाला सांगितलं. मी आपले मनापासून आभार मानते. धन्यवाद.
Thanks to you also, to the university authorities, to this Center of Madan Moore Teachers Training Center for giving me this opportunity to share my ideas with you people. You may not like some of my ideas, but that was my humble endeavor. Thank you, everyone.
थँक्यू मॅडम. थँक्यू व्हेरी मच.